Alrighty, hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I am Cryptic Coil, and in today's video I have yet another massive book haul, and I'm really excited about this one. I picked up some excellent stuff. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Before I get into any of the books, let me just show off this action figure of Angel from Buffy. Angel is in my top three favorite vampires of all time, alongside Lestat and Dracula. I know some people don't like Angel because he's too much of a good boy and he broods and he can be a bit self loathing at times. And Spike is the more sexy bad boy and whatnot. But I've had that conversation. Um, a lot of chicks, prefer Spike over Angel, but I love Angel. I think he's awesome. And so I have this action figure. So let me get into the books next. So the first one that I want to show is my copies of the Vampire Diaries. Now, I've had this collected volume before. I read it prior to so I actually read the paperbacks when I was in seventh grade, the original ones. And then after high school was over and I was a young adult, the TV show came out and they ended up releasing this combined volume of the first two books, The Awakening and The Struggle, and I reread it. So this is like the only book I've ever reread before, and yeah, I reread it to gear up for the TV show, and I only watched the first couple episodes, and I never finished it, even though I would have liked it. I just got busy in life at that time. But yeah, so it's really cool to have this in my collection again. I would like to find the vintage paperback someday. And then I picked up the second volume. The Fury. This is the Fury and the Dark Reunion combined into one. So it's nice to have these in my collection. I don't know why I just feel compelled to let you know. I've never read these ones before though. So let's see. Um, Let me get these out of the way. Okay, so I've found this book before, and I showed it in another book haul. I picked it up from the same thrift store I bought this copy from, but this one is in a little bit worse condition than the first copy I bought. This is the first book in the Freightville series, and it's called Don't Let the Doll In. And so when I get around to reading it, this will be my reading copy because it's not in as good of condition. I found this book and I just love vampires so much, and I thought the cover looked really cool. There's an attractive young woman on the cover, and she's wearing a white dress, which I think is awesome. There's just something about, like, a white dress that just seems compelling. Like Tawny Katane, she wore a white dress in the Here I Go Again music video, and in the Is This Love music video too. Yeah, so that's cool. Anyway, it's got a really cool cover. Full moon in the back, some birds like in flying in front of it. A shade of vampire. I mean, that sounds like a cool title. Let's read the summary on the back. On the evening, oh, and who's the author? Bella Forrest. Bella, vampire, Forrest, Twilight. Feeling a little twilighty. On the evening of Sophia Claremont's 17th birthday, she is sucked into a nightmare from which she cannot wake. A quiet evening walk along a beach brings her face to face with a dangerous, pale creature that craves much more than her blood. She is kidnapped to an island where the sun is eternally forbidden to shine, an island uncharted by any map and ruled by the most powerful vampire coven on the planet. She wakes here as a slave, a captive in chains. Sophia's life takes a thrilling and terrifying turn when she is the one selected out of hundreds of girls to join the harem of Derek Novak, the Dark Royal Prince. I used to know a girl named Novak in middle school. So interesting. Oh, and then there's Chris Novak from Nirvana. Okay. Despite his addiction to power and obsessive thirst for her blood, Sophia soon realizes that the safest place on the island is within his quarters, and she must do all within her power to win him over if she is to survive even one more night. Will she succeed, or is she destined to the same fate that all the other girls have met at the hands of the Novaks? New and lengthened 2015 edition. Okay, so fairly recent. Certainly post Twilight. So I wouldn't be surprised if Twilight was in influence. Okay, so there are 7 books in the series. I don't know if I want to read it. I don't know, because if it doesn't come to a conclusive ending, I don't know if I have it in me to read all 7 books. I just don't. It does sound good, but I don't know if I want to read it. I'm kind of up in the air about that one. All right, I want to get into this one right away because this was kind of like a bucket list find for me. I have been holding out for this book for months. Okay, this is The Adventures of the Bailey School Kids. Dracula Doesn't Drink Lemonade. Now, from my childhood, I thought it was called Dracula Doesn't Drink Pink Lemonade. And it's because that's what Mr. Drake is doing on the cover. Like, look at the color of the liquid in his glass. It's pink. So the book is actually called Dracula Doesn't Drink Lemonade. And the tagline is, could there be another vampire at Bailey School? Now, Mr. Drake is a substitute teacher, and he is Mrs. Jeepers' brother. And I just remember that from my childhood. I read a number of these books as a kid, and I've been hoping to find another copy of this out in the wild, and I did. I found one today, and I am just like over the moon about it. All right, so that was a very exciting find, and that one find alone is what made me feel compelled to make this video. So I found this copy of, it's a Ray Bradbury compilation of short stories collected in one volume for the first time, A Memory of Murder, Vintage Gems of Crime and Terror by a Modern Master of the Macabre. Look at that cover. Okay, that is a cool looking cover. Now, I've never read anything by Ray Bradbury, but, you know, I've heard of him. I think that he's also written for comic books before, so I think that's actually how I know him. And this book was actually, this is a first printing. It was printed in 1984, so it's older than me. And I found out that it's actually worth a few more bucks than what I picked it up for at the thrift store, so I could resell it online if I ever just needed a couple extra bucks. So that's cool. I like having stuff like that in my collection. And then I picked up these books. Now, I've shown you this one before. Okay, so this is a Simon R. Green book. It's a novel of the Nightside, Nightingale's Lament. So I picked up this copy today, and it was, this one is like in perfect condition, whereas the one that I originally picked up was actually kind of in ratty condition. So that one is going to be my reading copy, because I am interested in reading this. So very interested in reading this, actually. And I found a few other books from the series at the same thrift store. One of them is called Agents of Light and Darkness. So that's what the cover looks like. There's kind of an angel or a demon coming out of the ground, coming out of the ground, and their wings are burning. So, I mean, that sounds good, or it looks good. And then there's another book in the series called Something from the Nightside. And I guess that's the main character, John Taylor. I guess he's a detective, and I guess he's the main character in the series. Now, I don't know if I want to read those other two books. I don't. But this one, Nightingale's Lament, okay, that one looks really good. And it sounds really good too. So that one I'm going to read for sure. Let's see. So I picked up in a previous. Okay, so I've owned this book for years. Okay, this is even more short and shivery stories. 45 spine-tingling tales by Sansuchi, I guess. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sansuchi. And so, I mean, I've had this on my bookshelf for years. And in a recent book haul, I showed you that I found this. And so it's just short and shivery, and it's also 45 chilling tales, whereas the one that was in my collection was called even more short and shivery. And then today I found this short and shivery, and it's 30 chilling tales. And so I thought I was buying another book in the series, but I just realized that it's just a shortened version of the one that I already picked up. So I basically picked up the same book with a different cover and a few less, 15 less short stories. So, I mean, it is what it is. Let me go ahead and take a drink, please. My mouth is getting dry. Let me get these out of the way. So I picked up this book called The Cemetery Boys. Now that sounds like it's up my alley, okay? The author is Heather Brewer. It says she is a New York Times bestselling author. She got an endorsement, Dark, Twisted, Brilliant, by the New York Times. I guess there's an author named Madeline Rue, New York Times bestselling author of Asylum. So she was the one that said it was dark, twisted, and brilliant. So I read the synopsis or the summary on back, and it sounded good. It sounded like it was up my alley, so that's why I bought it. It's a Harper teen book. Welcome to Spencer, population 814. It's a backward town, and it's hiding a terrible secret. When Steven's dad says they're moving, Steven knows it's pointless to argue. They're broke from paying Mom's hospital bills, and now the only option left is to live with Steven's grandmother in Spencer, a backward small town that's like something out of the Twilight Zone. That's arguably my favorite TV show of all time, by the way. Steven's summer starts looking up when he befriends punk girl Kara and her charismatic twin brother, Devin. Only as the summer presses on and harmless nights hanging out in the cemetery take a darker turn, Steven starts to suspect that Devin is less a friend than a leader, and he might be leading them to a very sinister end. So, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. So, I picked that up, and before I get into any R.L. Stines, let me show you this. So I found this trilogy. Okay, it's Anne Rice. She wrote it as A.N. Roquelaure. My French isn't that good yet. I'm working on it. But this is the Sleeping Beauty novels. Okay, and it's combined into a collector's. So the first one, Beauty's Punishment, is just plain and white. Then the second one, or wait, what? No, I'm sorry. The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty is book number 1, and it's just kind of a plain black copy. And then Beauty's Punishment, which is book number 2, is actually plain white. And then Beauty's Release is book number 3, and it's plain red. So I actually have a funny story about this series. I do not. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think I'm going to keep this for myself. I don't. In fact, I'm touching it with my hand. So this is in, I guess this is actually erotica. And the reason I know that is because I didn't know that when I was like 18, 19, and I bought one of these books from Hastings. And I was like, whoa, Anne Rice did a take on Sleeping Beauty. I bet it's going to be awesome. And I had no idea what I was about to read. It's pretty hardcore for erotica. I mean, I don't really read erotica. I think that's more of a female thing. But I tried to read it, and there was some stuff that just, like, even for me, man, I mean, it was like, no, I like some of these things, but some of these things are just a bridge too far for me. Some of them were a few bridges too far for me. I never finished reading it. The book that I bought, I think I bought Beauty's Punishment, which was book number 2. I don't have it anymore. I, I just, I think that the reason I got rid of it was because this woman was talking about it at work. She was like, yeah, I didn't know what I'd bought. She goes, I thought it was cool that Anne Rice did a take on Sleeping Beauty. So I brought it to work, and I was reading it in the break room. And I started realizing, oh my gosh, I'm reading porn in the break room. What if someone sees me and they think I'm the kind of person who just openly reads porn in public places? And I was afraid that, like, if I died and someone found it in my possession, they would think something of me or whatever. So I got rid of my copy because I was young and overly cautious. But I think I may end up flipping this online. I think I can get some more money for it than what I bought at a thrift store. But then again, I might keep it because Anne Rice has passed away and it's her work, so I don't know. I don't need the money that bad, and it's not like I'm going to get that much more for it. I'm up in the air, but I'm actually kind of leaning towards keeping it right now. But when I brought it home, I thought about flipping it. All right, so now, why don't we get into my R.L. Stines? Okay, so I went to a thrift store and I found another hardback copy of A Midsummer Night's Scream. Okay, I already have one in paperback. I already have one in hardback. I found this one at a thrift store, and for $2, I just decided to pick it up. I just didn't want anyone else to have it because I don't know. I'm selfish like that for some reason. I don't know why, but I think I'm probably gonna lot this up and with other R.L. Stine books that I have and sell it. So. Like next time Netflix does something Fear Street related, there's going to be another boom of people like me buying up like these books, and I think somebody's going to want to pay me for it. So yeah, I'm a capitalist. All right, so I have a number of Fear Street novels that I picked up. So I found this one today. This was The Betrayal, and it's the first book in the Fear Street Saga series. Now, I already own a copy of this, but it's like in perfect condition, and this one's got kind of a beat up cover. It's not in anywhere near as good condition. So I decided to pick it up and use it as my reading copy because the one that I already have is in such perfect condition. I just don't want to mess it up. All right, so I thought I already had this, but I guess I don't, and I got it in an online haul. This is The Best Friend, and I just thought I already have it. I thought I had it already, I just don't. So, and it does not have an embossed Fear Street logo or an embossed R.L. Stine logo, but it also doesn't say BC on the barcode, so I'm not sure if it's a book club edition or if it's an original printing or not. Let's see. Let me just look at something real quick. Yeah, I just don't know. Okay. But let me go ahead and read the tag, since I don't own it and I haven't read the tagline or the summary in a prior haul. Let's go ahead and read the tagline and the summary. So, sometimes friendship can be murder. Oh, and look at her. She looks terrified in front of a Christmas tree. There's like a present with an inscription on the box, to my best friend, and a knife like stabbed into the inscription. And it reads, best friends to the end. Who is Honey Perkins? She's been telling everyone in Shadyside that she's Becca Norwood's best friend, but Becca's sure she's never met Honey before. Honey systematically moves in on Becca's life, copying her in every way, but when Becca presumes to have more than one best friend, the horrible accidents begin. Does Honey just want a friend, Becca wonders, or does she want more? Much more. See, and that sounds incredibly familiar, which is why I was under the impression that I already had this book in my collection, but I can't find it. As far as I know, this is my only copy. Alright, so, I also found this one. This is R.L. Stine's The Face, and it's got the embossed logos. Let me read the tagline real quick. He had something to tell her from beyond the grave. And look at this cover. Good-looking young lady. The cover really reminds me of that one scene from that Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore movie, 50 First Dates. So let's go ahead and read the summary on the back and see what this is about, because this is a first copy for me. I've never owned this one before, and I don't even remember it from my childhood. Why can't she remember? They say something horrible happened that day, but Martha can't remember any of it, not the smallest detail. They say it will come back to her in time, but someone wants her to remember now. She draws his face over and over, the face of a dead boy. She can't control her hand, and she can't remember how he died. But she's going to find the answer, even if it lies with the dead. Pretty metal. I dig it. Alright, let's see what else. So also in the R.L. Stine series, I have this copy of The Cheater and the bookshelf with all my R.L. Stine stuff. I need another bookshelf already. I just bought one last month. I need another bookshelf. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 bookshelves, man. I don't even have anywhere to put another bookshelf. First world problems. Alright, I don't know if I already have a copy of The Cheater or not, but this one's actually in kind of rough condition. No embossed Fear Street or R.L. Stine logo. And it reads, Now She Has to Pay. Now, I haven't read this book, and I don't believe I have a copy of it already, so I'll read the summary on the back. Carter Phillips is under a lot of pressure to ace her math achievement exam. So much pressure that she gets Adam Messner to take the test for her in exchange for one date. But Adam wants more than a date, much more. Carter has no choice. She has to do whatever he asks. If not, he'll tell her secret and ruin her life. Adam's control over her gets more and more unbearable. Carter is desperate to get rid of him. But how? Is murder the only way? Nice. Sounds pretty good to me. Let me show you the cover. So this copy's in pretty rough condition. So if I already do own a copy, then needless to say, this will be my reading copy. Like that creepy dude out the window, just staring in all shamelessly, like a shameless peeping Tom. She's all scared, hiding behind a wall on the phone. That looks so 80s, so 90s. Like, I love it. It's kind of iconic. Whoa! Is she the same chick from the cover of The Face? Is that the same chick? I think it might be. Let me know in the comment section if you know. Alright, so I have, this is a first for me. I've never owned a copy of this book before. This is a Fear Street Super Chiller, and it's got embossed logos. And the title is High Tide, and the tagline reads, "A lifeguard's job can be murder." Okay, look at that cover. Okay, look at that drowning girl. Like, she looks kind of scared, but she also looks like she's posing. That is a cool cover. This looks like a terrific summer read. So let's go ahead and read the tagline. A lifeguard's job can be murder. And let's read the summary on the back. Blood on the water. Adam Malfitano still has nightmares about the night his girlfriend, Mitzi, died. He sees the blood. He sees her in the water. He is a lifeguard and he can't save her. He wakes up screaming. Even worse, he has begun to see Mitzi while he is awake. He knows it is impossible, but she looks so real. He can see her face decaying. What does she want from him? Why won't she leave him alone? He tried to save her. Doesn't she know that? Okay, so this sounds incredibly intriguing. I am planning on reading the whole Fear Street series, but I was going to do it in order. I was even going to reread the ones that I've already read. But summer's coming up, and this sounds like a great summer read. I think I'm going to go ahead and make an exception, and I'm going to read this probably, it's almost June, so I guess this month then, because this sounds good. Except I think I'm going to look for a beat up copy on the internet, because this one here is like in perfect condition, and I just don't have the heart to try to ruin it. All right, I have two more R.L. Stines. So this is also a first for me. This book is called The Confession. Look at that cover. So the tagline reads, "Sometimes the truth can kill you." And so this thing is in like perfect condition. Another one that I don't think I have the heart to mess up by reading. I need to find an old beat up copy to keep as a reading copy. 5 close friends, 1 murderer. All Julie's friends hated Al. They all wished Al were dead, but that doesn't mean one of them killed him. Julie knows her friends. She knows they are innocent. Until one of them confesses. Julie and her friends promise to keep the killer secret. After all, they know he would never kill again. Or would he? Okay, that sounds pretty intriguing. I like that. And the last R.L. Stine that I have for you is a very rare book in the original Fear Street series. Okay, this one goes for a lot of money on its own on eBay, and I was really lucky to get it in a haul, and I got a great deal on the haul, so no regrets at all. And this book is Killer's Kiss. Now look at that cover. Okay, there's a Polaroid photo of what I suppose to be a handsome young man, lipstick prints on the Polaroid, a heart in the background, and a knife through the photo, similar to the cover of The Best Friend, where there was a knife through the inscription on the present. Okay, so the tagline reads, "Her lips were sweet and deadly." Okay, my kind of girl, I dig it. Now let's read the summary on the back. Delia and Karina have always been rivals for the best grades, the most friends, the hottest guys. This year, they both want Vincent, the most popular boy at Shadyside High. Karina is determined to win, no matter what it takes, and if she can't have Vincent, she'll make sure that no one can. Okay, that sounds pretty good too, and I missed the top. It says "Kiss Life Goodbye." But this copy is actually in super good condition, except for a little crease on the bottom corner in the front. But other than that, it has an otherwise perfect cover and a strong spine. embossed logo. So I think I'm really lucky to have this copy. This is in good enough condition to be a collector's copy. So if I can't find another copy in more beat up condition that I can buy on the cheap, I think I'm going to have to just look for an audio recording of it, because I just don't have the heart to read it and mess it up. So that's it for the R.L. Stines, but I do have more books that I'd like to get out of the way. The final books that I'm going to show you, and I know this video is half an hour long, but I have Lois Duncan books. Okay, so I want to show you what I got from Lois Duncan. So these are my Lois Duncans. Okay, so the first one that I want to show you, this one is called On the Edge, Stories at the Brink, and it's actually edited by Lois Duncan. See, I didn't know that when I saw it at the store. I just saw her name on the spine and on the cover, and so I just picked it up, brought it home. But it's a collection of short stories. There was a foreword written by Lois Duncan, excuse me. There was a foreword written by Lois Duncan, and I've never really heard of any of the authors in this book. The only one that I think I have heard of is Margaret Peterson Haddix, and that's it. But I do enjoy short story compilations, so I might give this one a shot. Also by Lois Duncan. Okay, so I picked up this copy of Killing Mr. Griffin, and I don't know, but it's actually in pretty decent condition, because I looked at it at the store and I saw that it says that this was copyrighted in 1978 and printed in 1979. So this book is actually significantly older than me, 7 years older than me. And, it's in pretty good condition, good spine. The cover's not bad at all for a book this old. This is the only Lois Duncan book I'd ever read. Right now I'm reading Stranger with My Face, as some of you know, but I had mentioned that in another video, a prior book haul. I had mentioned that the only Lois Duncan book I'd ever read was Killing Mr. Griffin. And the reason I brought that up is because I bought R.L. Stine's Fear Street book, The Dare, which has a very similar plot. And I also mentioned that it reminded me of the movie Teaching Ms. Tingley. Now, what I just learned recently was that the screenwriter who wrote the script for I Know What You Did Last Summer, which was a book by Lois Duncan, was the same screenwriter who wrote the script for Teaching Mrs. Tingley. And so that screenwriter had to have read Killing Mr. Griffin, because it was a very similar plot. So that was really cool to find this for my collection. And also by Lois Duncan, I got 2 copies. This one is called Down a Dark Hall. Well, they both are, but they're just different copies. So this is one of those like early 90s reprints, and I have a few of her other books that were printed in the early 90s. I believe this book was originally written in the 70s. Let's see. Yeah, copyright 1974, but this one was printed in 1990, and it's in like super good condition. Excellent cover, strong spine. I don't want to mess it up, so I also picked up this. I found them on the same day at the same thrift store. So let's go ahead and we'll look at the cover on this one. There's a young girl standing in a doorway. All you can see is her silhouette, and she casts a shadow, and the shadow is a shadow of death, the Grim Reaper, with a sickle and everything. And the tagline reads, "The dead are dying to live again." Now, what does the tagline read on this 1990 copy? "At Blackwood School for Girls, the private lessons might kill you." And the cover on this one is actually just a dark hallway to convey the title of the book, Down a Dark Hall. and the use of blue and black shades, I mean, give the cover of this one a really eerie feeling. So well done in both cases, I would say. So let me read the summary on the back of this one from 1990. The terror is real only in her dreams. Kit knows that evil waits for her in the dark halls of Blackwood School for Girls, but she doesn't know it has already entered her life. And who will believe her if her fears are real only when she sleeps? Okay, so that does sound pretty good. Now, the tagline on this copy, which will be my reading copy, says the tagline reads, "The dead are dying to live again." And let's read the summary on the back. Once a doorway opens, they can't control who comes in. Kit Gordy sees Blackwood Hall towering over black iron gates, and she can't help thinking, this place is evil. The imposing mansion sends a shiver of fear through her, but Kit settles into a routine, trying to ignore the rumors that the highly exclusive boarding school is haunted. Then her classmates begin to show extraordinary and unknown talents. The strange dreams, the voices, the lost letters to family and friends all become overshadowed by the magic around them. When Kit and her friends realize that Blackwood isn't what it claims to be, it might be too late. So that sounds pretty cool. This is definitely going to be a read for me. I'm going to get to it eventually. And so that's it for the Lois Duncan books. I know this video is getting long. Bear with me. So in a prior haul, I showed you this book by Mary Downing Hahn, and it was called Wait Till Helen Comes. And I read the summary on the back, and I said, you know what, this sounds good. And then I found out that this was a reprint and that it was originally copyrighted the year I was born, 1986. And but this was reprinted in like 2008 actually. And I also found out that this Mary Downing Hahn is the author of at least 36 books. And since this one came out the year I was born, I just supposed that, oh wow, she's had a pretty illustrious career. And this one sounded good. So while I was out there in the wild hunting for vintage horror, I found more of her books, and they're not vintage, but that's okay. I don't mind building up a Mary Downing Hahn collection so I can just devour her books. Okay, so I found this one. This one is called The Girl in the Locked Room, and it reads a ghost story. And look at that little girl in the white dress standing in front of the window. She looks creepy. My phone isn't really picking up, but you can kind of see a little bit of a face. And that is a creepy little girl if I've ever seen one. All right, and this is in hardback, so let's read the summary on the back. She goes to the mirror on the wardrobe door. Once she talked to her reflection as if it were a dear friend, a kindred soul. But as the years passed, cobwebs draped the mirror, its surfaces tarnished, her image slowly faded. Now she sees nothing but a shadowy shape, too vague for her to be sure it's her reflection. Perhaps she doesn't need to hide. Perhaps no one can see her. So that sounds pretty good. Ooh, there's actually more on the inside dust jacket, so let's go ahead and read that. A girl is locked in a room in an old abandoned house. She has been hiding there for more than 100 years. She is afraid, and she is lonely. Now another lonely girl arrives. Jules and her family have moved so often that she has never had a chance to make friends and put down roots. Once again, she's starting over in a new place, this time a ruined house where a pale face appears in an upstairs window. Who is the mysterious figure on the top floor? First fearful, then fascinated, Jules is determined to befriend the girl in the locked room. Past and present intersect as the girls unlock the door and discover the chilling secret history of the family who lived in the house all those many years ago. Okay, you know, I mean, that actually sounds pretty cool too. So I found this other book by Mary Downing Hahn called The Ghosts of Crutchfield Hall. And look at that. So it's obviously a very antique photograph of a young boy, young girl in a locket. It's a locket photo, so, or maybe not, maybe it's just a round picture frame. Whatever. A drop of blood on the photograph, so that's a nice touch. Let's go ahead and read the summary on back. Sophia was watching me, and I didn't know if I should fear her or try to befriend her. When 12-year-old Florence boards the horse-drawn coach in London, she looks forward to her new life at Crutchfield Hall, her great-uncle's manor house in the English countryside. Anything will be better, Florence thinks, than the grim London orphanage she has just left. Florence doesn't reckon with the eerie presence that haunts the cavernous rooms and dimly lit hallways of Crutchfield. It's the ghost of her cousin, Sophia, who died the year before. Sophia's ghost seeks to recreate the scene of her death and cause someone else to die in her place so that she will be restored to life, and she intends to force Florence to help her. So, that sounds pretty good. So I guess Mary Downing Hahn is really into ghosts. At least she doesn't advertise these books as true ghost stories, because that would automatically put me off. So I have another one from her called Took, and it's also a ghost story. And look at that. It looks like a doll hand. Really creepy, because dolls are creepy, especially in horror. So let's go ahead and read the summary on the back. Daniel and his sister Erica didn't want to move to rural West Virginia. Their new home is a rundown old farm surrounded by woods, miles from town. The local kids treat Daniel and Erica as snobby outsiders and frighten them with strange stories about their house and a witch called Old Auntie. Erica withdraws further into herself, holding long conversations with her doll, and their parents grow increasingly unhappy in their new surroundings. At first, Daniel dismisses the tales of the witch and her man-eating razorback hog, bloody bones, as superstitious nonsense, but gradually he is forced to believe that Erica is in real danger. When Erica vanishes, he knows she's been took, and he must summon all his courage to confront Old Auntie and take his sister back. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's kind of like a retelling of Sleeping Beauty. Or like Cinderella, maybe even. I don't know. But yeah, that actually sounds pretty cool. I have two more from Mary Downing Hahn. I have Deep and Dark and Dangerous. And there's kind of a woman's face obscured by blue light. I'm guessing it has something to do with water. Deep and dark and dangerous. Because look at her hair. So it's like she's in the water. Let's see. And water damage has happened to this book. So maybe I can find one in better condition. And let me, just out of curiosity, let me see the copyright date on this one. 2007. Okay. There's no tagline on the front. Just before summer begins, 13-year-old Allie finds an old photograph. She recognizes the two children. One's her mother, and the other her Aunt Dulcie, or Dolce. But who is the third person? The one who's been torn out of the picture. Allie will have 2 months to figure it out, since she's spending the summer with her aunt and her cousin in the same house her mom and aunt used to visit when they were kids. Then Allie meets Sissy. Sissy is mean, spiteful, and determined to ruin Allie's summer. Sissy also has a secret. Could it have something to do with the old photo? Allie is dying to find out, though if she's not careful, that's exactly what might happen to her. Die, that is. Okay. The water damage is kind of grossing me out because I don't know what kind of liquid caused that damage. So, And then the final book that I have from her is called All the Lovely Bad Ones. And look at that cover. Kind of a creepy old woman wearing a really old-fashioned dress. And it's kind of got the Illuminati triangle kind of thing going on front and center. Great use of like blues and purples. That is a really cool cover. Oh, look at the children in the background. It's like they're ghosts or something. All the Lovely Bad Ones. And I'm getting like Hellraiser vibes from that woman. So let's read the summary on the back and see what this one's about. Okay, Travis and his sister, Corey, can't resist a good trick. When they learn that their grandmother's quiet Vermont inn, where they're spending the summer, has a history of ghost sightings, they decide to do a little haunting of their own. But their supernatural pranks awaken something dangerous, something that should have stayed asleep. Only Travis and Corey can later rest the spiteful spirits they've stirred. This means discovering the secret of Fox Hill and the horrors visited on its inhabitants years before. Okay, that sounds pretty good. I'm going to start with where Wait Till Helen Comes, and I'll work my way up. Hopefully, I'll come to really like this author. This video has gotten really long, so let me go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you for watching. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I really look forward to reading these. My work schedule just changed, and I think it's going to work out for the better, so I hope I get more time to read. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what some of your favorites were. And if there was something in specific that you would like for me to review, just let me know in the comment section below. And again, thank you guys, because I know this got long. All right, horns up. Peace out.